We have not drawn Deku in a while, and the final season is coming. So they released this cool poster of the boy himself. So, best boy. Let's try draw this. So, like, a ruler might be handy because it's kind of like a half, like his face. It's not full face, right? So it doesn't stretch right to the edge of my paper. I'm on a landscape. We're going to start with his eye, the only eye we can see. So he's kind of like over this side because he's got like Blackwhip and all this stuff over this side, right? So we're just going to go simple enough eye, right? Very scratchy kind of eye. So we're going to go this way. And you can do it kind of hairy if you want. So just a diagonal line. Okay, now this is going to be very thick, this top line eventually, but I'll just get the bottom one in first just for our shape, right? So we go there and then around this way. So that's what we're working with. Now there's a lot of heaviness and scratches and all sorts of stuff around this, right? So you want to go real dark with the top one, like you're going where? I'd say like as far as like there. That's how thick it is. So like real heavy and kind of hairy at the ends. Right, and this one is kind of dark as well. Do, 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 do. And there is some like extra little sort of hatching lines and like some dark shadows and stuff, and they do it kind of like just wrinkles and stuff around his eye. He's not in a good way. It's the finale, and he's been fighting for a long time. So he's got bags under his eyes. Right, so the iris, those green eyes. So we go just like curving around here, sort of a half circle. Like so. And then a small light green pupil in here. Okay. Kind of like he has all for one sort of activated, you know. Eyebrow. So we'll go just above, right? So, and it's just like a sharp sort of, kind of like his eyelid line actually. Just going up pretty far this way. And you can thicken this up a bit in the middle. Kind of like we did it's kind of the same sort of line as his eyelid. Right, and then eyelid line here, eyelid line going back that way. Right, we got those freckles, 4 of them. So, where? Kind of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instantly, we know it's Deku. Okay, so for his nose, they don't do much in My Hero Academia for noses, right? So we just got kind of like a vertical line there. And then we got like, I'd say wrinkles and stuff, but I'd say that's what they're supposed to be anyway. And then there's like some hatching kind of like in a triangle shape, right? So it goes down towards the point of this. first line. Right, and no nostrils drawn in. So teeth gritted, mouth open, very sort of tense, right? So side of his mouth there and the other side kind of over there. And nose in the middle, obviously. And then we will go kind of bumpy, right? So he's kind of, his top lip's kind of like quivering, or it's kind of shaky, basically. I wonder if this illustration was drawn by the manga guy. It looks similar. So that's his mouth open, you know, that sort of shape. It's kind of like a banana or something. And then we got like teeth, right? But we got like a shadow in the corner of his mouth first. Pure black, or as dark as you can with your pencil. And that's like, you could leave the teeth like that if you wanted, it'd be fine, but he actually draws in some teeth. You know, just this kind of broken kind of tooth line. Like so. With some hatching in the corner too. Right, so then his chin and his face shape. So his chin just here. Now his face is cut off, as I said, on this side, but like I'll bring it up as far as I can see in the poster. So I'd say there, so like everything's probably going to end here. So if you want to draw a line there, you can cut your page. I'm going to draw a line at the end, maybe, just so we know where everything stops. So wherever you stop on your page, you know, obviously that'll be your end point. Right, and then his face, like, it's very gradually curved, pretty close to his eye up here. So we'll just gradually curve this down around his freckles and all right. So just at the top of this line, we get his sideburn for his hair, right? So we get a little V just beside the eyebrow. And this is spiky hair. And then a little jaggedy line for his hairline that just comes up around for his fringe. And it's like, it's basically just like zigzags, right? It kind of comes in onto his forehead, you know, comes across here, but his hair is covering a lot of it. Okay. And everything's kind of green and black, so it's hard to make out where hair spikes are, but say a lot of his hair covers his face, and then we have, I think it's Blackwhip in an X pattern. We'll do his ear anyway. First we get the ear in, curving down like so. Then we have ear lines inside. A letter J kind of shape is the easiest way, but you can add a bit more because sometimes there is a bit more. So it's kind of up to you how much of that you want to do. It's always different. Animators even do it different every time. So I'm going to finish the hair maybe coming across his face first, right? And it kind of like stops up here somewhere. And it's all like crazy spiky hair coming across his face, right? All these spikes. And again, hair moves and it like blows with the wind and energy and the way he's moving and everything. So don't worry too much. It was not exactly like mine. Once you just get it coming across his face, he should be good. And is that, okay, so we got like to differentiate between Blackwhip and the hair, so I think it goes this way. Just spiking down across his nose. We got a big dark shadow there. What is that? His eye. Okay, well, what would that be? Let's see. We'll go this way. I think it's Blackwhip. Let's just do hair here, maybe. It's like someone tried to draw the eye, but then like scribbled it out. That's what it looks like. So I think, yeah, his face kind of just stops here. So we will stop there. And we just put some texture on his hair. So there's all that Deku sort of black shadows and stuff. So it's optional if you want to do all the black shadows. You can, of course. Okay, so starting at his ear, we've got the smaller spikes of his hair. Do, 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 do. And it's done very sort of scratchy and kind of angled and very quick, whoever drew it anyway. Looks fast. Their hand movement, I mean. Even better hell than you. Do, do, do. Right. So that's his hair. So we'll go down now and try and do we'll do Blackwhip actually on his face first. I was gonna move down, but we'll do the Blackwhip. Now this is done with green color, so if you know, there's like black lines on the inside, but we got to kind of draw in the outline just to get it all in the right place, I think. You know, and it's kind of like just a fork lightning kind of thing. Very jaggedy, coming on around. Goes down and it's kind of like in an X pattern on his face. Right, we'll kind of beat him up a bit while we're here. We'll just add some like scratches to his skin and to his forehead and things. Ain't better hell than you. All right, Gran Torino's scarf, ripped and torn in bits. So, where do we begin? We'll begin here. We will begin just with jaggedy, ripped and torn fabric lines, right? Some of it may go onto his face, but I'll keep it off, it's easier. And it's just black shadow in underneath his neck, right? So it's just like ripped and torn, but it's just like black in there. You can't see anything. They just like shade it really heavily. Right, and again, it stops sort of here somewhere. And then we'll try and do the bottom part. So just like kind of going in that way. Again, it's like it's all beat up and stuff, so Goes in behind his hair. There. It comes out, down. In. Here, it comes down this way. Hangs down here a bit. Stopping along here, and then we got some like fold lines and things. And again, some like scratches and hatching and little sort of dark lines and dots and dashes and all sorts of texture on it. And lots of shadow in here. That's nearly pure black just in there. Right, so his body, and we got that pad, that chest pad that he always has. There. And it's got some edge lines, drawn very sort of lightly. Like very sort of jaggedy. A button in there. And again, there's like cracks and things all in this. There's a lot of detail in this. Yeah, so we got his body then just coming down this way, and it's all folding sort of zigzag lines, right? So it's his clothing sort of stretched across his body, right? So it's kind of like stepping down. And it's drawn real fast, and it looks like the bottom of his, is that his belt or his t-shirt? Like it looks like it's ripped and torn there anyway. Kind of back here too, and this just goes behind his hand somewhere there. It's like red and yellow in here. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. And this looks like a belt. It's in his chest is like here. You've got like this like yellow pattern on the side, and then his like middle line, right? And there's all these stretch marks and stuff. Righty. So the arm then, so is that Gran Torino's scarf or is that his arm? Questions. So I think this is his shoulder sleeve and it has some yellow on it, I think. Could be wrong, have been wrong before, but we're going to draw it that way anyway. There's a bit of yellow here and I'm not sure if it's Gran Torino's scarf or on his sleeve. But we can see his shoulder muscle here, and his bicep just comes out from his chest there, and his tricep like that, just real curvy sort of musculature. And then his forearm comes out and down. That way he's got like his wrapping that he wears on his arm has been blasted off, right? So, but maybe I'll just finish the arm first before we do all that. Yeah, and then he's got that glove, right? So it kind of just looks like a like a rocket ship, like the end of it or something. Right? It's got these two. It's got like a cylinder. And then like two wings. Reminds me kind of like the end of a rocket ship. And then there's like cracks and scratches and stuff all in this as well. It's been taking a beating. Right, Blackwhip coming over his arm, and then some of the debris. We'll do, maybe there's some shrapnel coming over his, well, it's his thing being blasted off his bandage that he wears. You know, it's coming off his skin. And this stuff is all red, right? Kind of just flying off. Kind of like that, right? Just little pieces of it being blasted off, basically. And then we have Blackwhip coming across the arm, right? And same as his face, right? We'll just lightly draw it in. And it's kind of green and black. And then sort of scars on his arm, I think. And like here. And then scratches and stuff. Right, then there's some Blackwhip in the background of his arm, so kind of like all in the air here. It's okay. Comes down behind all this. Goes off the page up there, back in. It's just all black and green sort of energy sort of stuff. A little bit down here as well, and there's another piece of red. Bum, bum. And then a bit of Blackwhip down here as well, in behind these guys. Okay, so did I miss anything? No, and then you just color, obviously, Blackwhip, his hair, etc. If you're on the red, maybe some of that, whatever you're, or you can just shade. Looking forward to the final season. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.